Hi guys, and welcome to Life Event Staffing's Meet the Partners series. This is the 11th episode of a series taking a close look into each of our partners, what they offer in the world of fundraising events, and how we work together to offer clients a truly world-class experience. Today, I am pleased to be joined by Debby Roth, the Senior Strategic Relationship Manager at Greater Giving. But before we start our discussion, I want to remind you to like and subscribe to our videos if you find them helpful. And if you haven't seen the other episodes, you can hit the playlist button to watch to your heart's content. Maybe there's a technology or auctioneer you are considering working with and want to see how life event staffing complements their service. Take a look at our partners and see if we work with them already. And on that note, if you have any that you would like to recommend we work with, please do get in touch and let us know. Okay, so on to today's episode. Greater Giving, one of the biggest and longest standing companies in the industry with over 20 years of in-person and online fundraising software experience, delivering a whopping 100,000 events, processing over $8 billion in funds. Fantastic. We love working with Greater Giving and have done since the start. So Debbie, tell us all about the business and your role within it.
Hi, everyone. I am Debby Roth with Greater Giving, and I am the Senior Strategic Relationship Manager, which is a fancy title for partner manager. And I have been with the company for 16 years. So I work with auctioneers and event planners and event services like Lauren's company. All over the US and Canada. I help with training and recruiting and troubleshooting and just general question answers. And I've loved my job in the nonprofit industry. Greater Giving is a software platform. We were founded in 2002. We are in all 50 states and up into Canada. And we work exclusively with nonprofits all over of every type to help them simplify their event, manage their data, and then figure out what worked and what didn't as they move on. So, years ago, we started with a long checkout line. Our founder was frustrated and actually walked out without paying and created terminals that could capture the card and tie it to a bid number. And from there, we have just taken off. We were acquired in 2009 by Global Payments, which is the world's third largest bank. And they have thrown a great deal of resources at us since they have picked us up and really helped us tighten up our security. I mean, we were PCI compliant and security conscious before, but I'll tell you what, that is something that we are constantly paying attention to make sure your data and your guest data all remain secure. We have processed over 8 billion for the nonprofits since our founding. We've done over 100,000 fundraising events, golf, auctions, all sorts of things in between. Again, 22 years old. We have over 150 professional partners and that know the product and are very helpful.
I mean, the statistics here are just mind-blowing. The software is pretty diverse and has many functions, right?
You can build your website, sell your tickets, do a capital campaign, do text to donate, manage all aspects of your event. Everything from gathering the donor data, maybe storing the credit card for the night of event so they don't have to pull it out and have it swiped again. Table seatings, printing bid cards. You can use mobile bidding or not. We still have the paper bid sheets. It's very intuitive. It's very fast.
Yeah, the system, from our experience, is packed full of features to suit everyone's requirements. Putting this into an in-person event scenario, for example, we talk a lot about the first donor touch point with fundraising software, and that normally is the check-in process. What are your thoughts on that?
You want that to go smooth. Your guests need to feel like they're being welcomed and that you were expecting them. So having their name in the system, double checking whether they're, what card they're going to put on file or if they're going to keep the one that they stored, and telling them where to sit and, go on and get them in so that they're having fun.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys have a very user-friendly interface for support staff or volunteers to use to carry out all of the event-related activities, right?
We use GoTime, which is a app that is so easy. It's got buttons. So check in your volunteers or your staff. Just check in, type in part of a name, get them through, get them on and, getting their drink and entering sales. So that would be for, if you're not using mobile bidding, the silent auction, you've got to enter sales. That's a button you push and you type in very easily the lot or package number, the buyer's bid number, and the amount it was sold for. Most people these days now are just entering the live auction. Mobile bidding's just taken off and it makes it so much easier on your staff. Wouldn't you agree, Lauren?
Yes, so much easier on the staff, but at the same time, as more people are picking up the technology, you do come across more reasons to have staff there to help with all kinds of questions. So when you choose Greater Giving, you also offer a technical support package. Can you tell us more about this?
So when you purchase Greater Giving, all of your support is included. And you can call, you can text, or you can email, and all the training is included. So however many times you got to go through it, and it starts, you go to Greater Giving /training. And it's one of the things that once you sign up, we start sending you emails about how to get knowledgeable, because good data will make it a good event if you put it in right. So there's a 101, there's a 102, there's how to build your website. And as I mentioned, when you've got volunteers or staff that you are trying to bring up to speed on night of event, the Go Time event night training is a 20-minute video. And when I'm managing volunteers and managing an event, I send it out. I ask them all to watch it, and I ask them to acknowledge that they've seen it so that it gives them a leg up when we walk in. Obviously, I'm going to train them on site as well, but it gets them familiar with the steps that they're going to take and the most common tasks that will happen that night. Check in, check out, maybe doing some data entry. Maybe that's something that it'll be someone else that has done, but they all can do it. It's all easy. And the other thing is that you've got support from us the day of your event, 24 hours around your event. You can call and get a hold of somebody at Greater Giving if you're stuck, if you happen to be doing that last minute thing and, working past midnight, and you're stuck and you can't wait because your event's going to be, that next day, you can get a hold of somebody.
That's where we come in, Debby. You obviously have event support yourselves, and life event staffing is more of an extension to your team.
You do have the option to hire us to be on site, but we have way more clients than we can get to. So a partner like life event staffing is very important to us. And we have just loved partnering with Lauren, your team. And they do a great job. They're very pleasant. I haven't met anybody that has not been professional and been very knowledgeable as they're handling the events, and pretty unflappable. So.
Unflappable. I love that. I think, as I said before, we strive to be an extension of your own team, bringing that consistent, professional, and knowledgeable service where you need it. And also being able to speak to your donors in a manner that suits your own values and professionalism.
Yeah, our client services takes a big sigh of relief when we know we're working with a skilled partner.
Thank you. That's awesome, Debby. Shall we talk about the future and what kind of things are evolving with Greater Giving from a tech standpoint?
being a technology company, we're required, our clients are always asking us for new features and things. And I think one of the most exciting ones that came out this last year was the RSVP dashboard. Because, one of the most frustrating things is when you sell a sponsor table and who's going to sit there. So hopefully you're working with your sponsors about inviting people with the means and the motivation to possibly support your organization. But the big thing is, if they're truly VIPs, they should be in the software so that we know who they are when they're showing up that night and be welcomed. So the RSVP thing, it's awful. You're calling your sponsors and asking for that information And now the system generates a link. The sponsors can send an individual link to each person that they've invited, and those people can fill out their own information. So it takes it off the sponsor and puts it on. You're probably still going to have to nag, but it makes it so much easier. The other thing you're going to see is some new payment solutions later this year. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but that's something that we're working on. And the other thing to be aware of is we are first and foremost a payment processing company. So one of the things you don't see every 6 weeks, we are working in our software, and it might be a security update. It might be, a feature update. It might be so there's never a really big dramatic change, but there are small changes constantly happening. But we are never, ever, ever not thinking about payment security and your donor data security.
Yep, that's very comforting to hear, and I'm sure it is appreciated that you are focused on security in this day and age. There are scams all over the place, and it's just having that peace of mind when you are donating $50 or $50,000. You want to know it is being handled safely and securely. You also have a massive resource of training material for nonprofits on your website, don't you?
Not just the training, but a lot of fundraising information on our website that anybody can access. Mm-hmm. We have a couple auction game books that have 26 articles in each of them, written by many of the auctioneers and our partners, event planners, the stuff around the country. Those are free. Download them. Different revenue ideas beyond heads and tails. And webinars.
You heard it from Debbie. Free, top-tier information for you to get the most out of your fundraisers. Debbie, tell us about your extensive list of partners and the benefit auctioneers you have accumulated over the years.
With our partners, they're listed on our website, and they're listed by type and the states that they service. And we know them all. I've usually come across because they've sent me a referral or two, and I'm going, who's this? Or I've met them. I go to a lot of the state auctioneer conferences, and I go to the big national one, and I know them all. 16 years, I know them all. And so we bring people on that we know understand fundraising and the best practices and are focused on the nonprofit, where they become your partner. They'll understand your messaging. They will understand what they are there to do that night. They become a true partner before your event, consulting on the lineup. Different ones have different services, but maybe sponsor strategies, maybe revenue enhancers, the things that you can do like Wall of Wine or Heads and Tails, or, a 50-50 purse or putter, all those games that can be done. They'll also tell you to limit them. So they're very, very smart, and they will help you with the ask, with the appeal. They will help you describe what each level does and get the most out of the room, and people will do it gladly. So I love a professional benefit auctioneer. Some of them do some other things, but they study. They go to a conference once a year that focuses and keeps their stuff sharp. Some of them have worked on their CFRE. I've got one working on a master's in fundraising. They're dedicated, and you have to find one that is available, is knowledgeable, that you like, and at the price point, and there's a wide variety. So, again, different sizes fit different organizations and different personalities fit. So, don't be afraid to check them out and talk to them, or go to an event that they're doing and see what they're like, watch their videos. But I think that first intake conversation with somebody will tell you whether you want to work with them or not.
This is great, thank you. Before we wrap up, Debbie, have you got any memorable auction experiences, good or bad, that you would like to share with us?
An auction experience. My very first auction was before I worked for Greater Giving. My son was a first grader at a private school, and we had to have volunteer hours in, where we had to pay $10 an hour, and it would have come to $250. As a single parent, that was more money than I could handle. So I volunteered, and I got all my hours in. I got to tell you, I thought we'd be done at 9 o'clock. I thought there'd be babysitting. At 1 a.m, they were still trying to check people out. They had one dial-up line. Remember that sound, Lauren? Of credit card processing. They were still trying to get out of 350 people in the gym out the door, and the software kept crashing. It was not Greater Giving software. Fast forward to the next year, I am now working for the company that was known as Auction Pay, that has become Greater Giving. And of course, they expected me to run it. I'm marketing, not support. But I did. I acted like every volunteer out there, and, learned what I had to learn, and, a little nervous. And we were done at the last guest walked out the door at 9:30. We raised $35,000 more. Part of that was adding a professional benefit auctioneer. Part of it was doing a better job on asking. And part of it was people weren't exhausted and angry. So, and we were cleaned up and out of the facility at 11 p.m. It was a game changer. And whereas, that first year I had to come back the next day and clean up too. And I had to find a babysitter at the last minute. So that was a game changer. And that was before mobile bidding. Mobile bidding makes it even easier now. But please check you're not in the basement of a hotel where there's no Wi-Fi or cell signal.
Yes, or in the middle of a field, or a ranch in the middle of a desert. Good advice.
That's one of those things that you do need to double check if you're, what your technology, whether you're going to be able to use it. So, most of us are in the cloud. That's just the way it's gone. So how are you going to do that? You can find Wi-Fi partners. And we've discovered one in the Washington area. They bring in and set up the signal, and they also, I've just added them as a partner. They also wire and set up nonprofit offices. So they've been a great resource. So reaching out to whoever your computer or what's the term I want to use? Your internet connecting your service. For the office may be able to help you out with connectivity.
Any closing thoughts, Debbie?
Think about what you need to do for your event and evaluate your platforms against that. And once you've chosen it, take the training. If they're offering training, don't buy it at the last minute and think you're going to do a good job. That's too much stress. Take the training. Learn how to put good data in, because if you put clean data in, your event will run smoothly, and it will reflect well on your fiduciary responsibility of protecting data. The guests will remember your event positively and then want to come back and support you again the next time. And most of all, have fun, share your mission. It's all good. We're all trying to do the same thing, making the world a better place.
Well, we thank you so much, Debbie. We really appreciate the time you have spent with us today. It was great to speak with someone who has such a lot of experience in the industry and who has seen it evolve from the start to where it is today. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Best of luck to all of you.
Guys, if you want to get in touch with Greater Giving, here are the details. Or alternatively, you can reach out to me directly and I can put you in touch. As always, please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content, as it will give others an opportunity to find this video and improve future events for other non-profits around the world. Look out for the next episode of Meet the Partners, and thank you for joining us today. Bye!